Hey guys, so today I'm building my IKEA greenhouse cabinet. This is a project that I've been wanting to do for such a long time but never had the time for, and it's been around 2 months since I started buying the materials and I'm finally starting it. Yeah, I'm really excited to build this because this is one of the only days out of the week, out of the month, that I am free to do this, and I really need to do it really soon. I picked this cabinet up off Facebook Marketplace for around $40, which is an insane deal, and it's in really good condition as well. It only has one little nook, and it doesn't really bother me because you don't really notice it. But yeah, the cabinet is in really good condition for $40. If I were to recommend you guys get an IKEA cabinet, it would be the rudsta cabinet, but try to get it secondhand somehow just to save some money, because I've seen a lot of these on Facebook Marketplace, and if you're patient enough you can probably find it. Obviously it depends on location, but I was lucky enough to find one for $40 compared to, like, I don't know what the retail price is, but retail price is around $140, I believe, around that range. I will leave all the materials that I'm using in the description along with prices. So yeah, anyways, let's get started on this build. So first thing I want to do is spray paint the outside of it, like this area right here, this side of the area right here on both sides, just so that nobody will really be able to see, and it makes the whole cabinet a little more immersed. I saw a few videos where people were painting them with a brush or spray painting the inside instead of the outside, and if you spray paint the inside, the insulated foam will end up seeping through and showing from the outside. So it's better to spray paint the outside a little more, just so there's no water damage on the spray paint as well. It will make it a lot better. And I thought painting it with a brush would have more strokes and not be as efficient somehow. Yeah, I thought spray paint would be the best option. Right here I chose to do flat black spray paint just because I feel like it's the closest to this type of paint on the cabinet. I was thinking between glossy and matte, but glossy seemed a little bit too reflective, and matte, and this cabinet doesn't feel fully matte, and so safest option that I decided to choose was flat black. And on the inside of the cabinet, I'm going to do a matte clear enamel just to prevent rust. I just want to be safe since there is going to be a lot of moisture. I definitely don't recommend doing this in your home with wood flooring. I'm by myself and I don't really have anyone to help me bring it downstairs, and it'll be much more of a hassle if I try to bring it down to the garage myself. But I'm being extra cautious with my layout and where I'm spray painting. So yeah, hopefully that goes well. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do 2 layers total, just to cover up the strip marks. It's going pretty well so far. That's what it looks like so far. You see some of those marks right there, which does bother me a little bit, but I hope it can be fixed up with the second layer. But it's fine, this black looks pretty decent so far. So I don't know if you can see, but there are some marks from the newspaper sticking onto the spray paint. I didn't think about that too much when laying it down, which I should have thought of. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I think I am gonna end up fixing that later on. But yeah, for now it's fine. Okay, so I think I'm going to start on the weather stripping. and the silicone. The silicone is to seal the entire thing and to prevent leakage of any type, since this is a high moisture, high humidity environment. So we definitely don't want any type of leakage, especially at the bottom, and we don't want any humidity to leak out. At least not a lot of humidity to leak out, because it will allow for less care and less maintenance of not having to spray the cabinet every day. So I'm using aquarium silicone right now. This is the brand. Okay, so I have this piece of glass that came with the cabinet. I'm just gonna clean it up a bit and clean up the inside of the cabinet because it did attract some dust. And I'm gonna silicone this piece of glass in. So before I place the glass in, I'm gonna use some weather stripping. I measured out the doors of the cabinet and where it needs to be weather stripped just to make sure that it fits. I'll leave the exact link to where I got this and the exact measurements of this weather strip, specifically for the IKEA rudsta cabinet though. There we go, guys. So that's the weather sealant, and I added it on both sides. So once you close it, it's completely sealed off. Don't know how well you can see that, but it's completely sealed off. I added some at the top, very top right here, and along the insides. Anywhere where you see exposed lighting, except the back, because this is where we're gonna put foam. Because this is where we're gonna put the foam, so we don't really need the weather stripping. So this is the piece of glass that came with the cabinet. I'm just going to install it right at the front because it should fit perfectly. Nice. And now I just have to go ahead and silicone this on. Now I'm gonna just wait till this dries up, and while I'm waiting, I'm gonna clean the glass because I got a bunch of smudges of silicone all over the glass. So now I'm gonna be using insulating foam instead of silicone to stabilize the glass, because some of the nooks and crannies are kind of hard to get into with the silicone. So yeah, this is the stuff that I'm gonna be using to insulate the whole greenhouse cabinet. And now it's time for the more fun part, doing the insulating and decorating. So right here, I'm reusing some plastic containers and plastic cups that I had lying around just to create some kind of a natural elevation within the terrarium cabinet. It kind of mimics like a waterfall structure, but not really a waterfall because I'm not adding any water features here. But I recommend plastic just because it's lightweight and very maneuverable. And also right here, I have some moss, some sphagnum moss, to put on some of the wet foam while it's still wet. That's very important just because it's a lot easier to stick on to the foam, and you wouldn't have to use any other method to try to stick the foam on. And this is also where I'm adding some cocoa coir and some extra sphagnum moss on top as well, just to cover up the white foam a little more. Same rules apply here with the bark. I'm just adding it to the wet foam while it's still wet, just so it could be able to stick easily as well. And same rule also applies for the extra moss that you may have. Right here, I'm just explaining that you can use metal wires and attach it onto the dry foam if you have waited too long for the foam to dry, and this really helps attach things such as moss and plants. Okay, so I can't believe I got this far. I've been working on this for like 8 to 10 hours so far, and I'm finally getting to the substrate, which should be really close to the very last steps. But yeah, for my substrate, I'm using lacquer right now. I washed them as well. They're still a little wet. You can use any type of inorganic material, really. It's just what's most accessible to you. Lacquer is pretty accessible to me. If you didn't know, IKEA actually has lacquer as well at a pretty affordable price. I think it's like 5 liters, 5 liters for about $10, which is pretty decent. I'm just gonna be using the lacquer as a bottom drainage layer. Now I'm just gonna combine a little bit of sphagnum moss and cocoa chips. Guys, this actually looks so cool. Like, it looks so much better in person. Yeah, my first ever terrarium cabinet build. Enclosure build. I still need to get some more substrate, some more moss, add in the greenery, and also isopods and springtails. It looks so good so far. I'm about to install the fogger, and then yeah. Hello guys, so it's the next morning. Last night I went ahead and installed the fogger and the grow lights. The grow lights are from the brand Mother, and they're supposedly more wider and brighter light rather than a warm light. From an interior perspective, I usually prefer a warmer tone light. From doing a bit of research, I learned that white and bright lights are better for showing off and popping off the colors for greenery, for like a terrarium or an aquarium, rather than a warm light, which would make the greenery look really dull or not really pop off the color. Here are the lights, and it looks so good. I'm loving it. Yeah, and I have the fogger tube right behind right there. Also added a little pedestal here. This is where I'm gonna put some figurines. Also, it's looking good so far. Now, I've seen a few videos where people install 2 grow lights instead of 1 into this cabinet, but for one, I can't really afford 2, and also because just for a symmetrical reason, and really I feel like my elevations aren't really extended enough to block light at the bottom, and the light is pretty bright and distributes pretty evenly. So yeah, now it's time to install the plants. This is the part I've been waiting for. After 12 hours, I'm so tired, and the main part, this is the most satisfying part and most enjoyable part for me. So yeah.
Deixa que o amor invade a porta da tua casa. Deixa que o carinho seja o beijo de uma flor. Deixa que o amor invade a porta da tua casa. Deixa que o carinho seja o beijo de uma flor. Desde pequenino que eu sei que o amor é cura, amolece a dor e ingratidão. Desde pequenino que eu sei que o amor perdura, basta ter carinho e compreensão.